Sixx Sense with Nikki Sixx. It's a Sixx Sense deeper.
It's Jenn and Nikki Sixx. We are Sixx Sense. Our friend Billy Gibbons joins us today. Hi, sir.
Have mercy. How's it going, Jen?
Perfecto Mundo. Is that how you pronounce it? We were going back and forth between Mundo and Mundo.
Well, yeah, it's all fake Spanish anyway. So slanglish. Now, you've heard of Spanglish.
Right.
Now we're going to go slangify Spanglish, so it's slanguish.
I'm going to use that every day from now on.
Perfecto Mundo. I think we can. That's fair enough.
You got to roll the R every once in a while. Like on Tuesdays and Thursdays when you talk about it. Perfecto Mundo.
Sí, señorita.
Your life is fascinating to me. Obviously, I grew up listening to you. I've known about you since I was a wee tot. And I didn't know a couple things about you personally. When I was, investigating and stalking, I found out that you played with Jimi Hendrix. You knew Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
What is a face for? What surprised you about him?
Oh, well, the surprise, I was 17 and was fronting a band pre-ZZ Top, just before ZZ Top, called The Moving Sidewalks. And we had taken lead from our heroes in that time frame was another outfit, the 13th Floor Elevators. Rocky Erickson singing and Tommy Hall creating these really wild lyrics. And we had a pretty good foothold going, and lo and behold, we were invited to join the Jimi Hendrix tour in 1968. So we had just heard about Jimi Hendrix from the record Are You Experienced and couldn't wait. This was a big, big deal. This guy was doing things to the guitar that it was not designed to do, but he was reinventing what it was supposed to do. And so that's kind of started it. And he and I bonded in no uncertain terms. And of course it started off talking about guitar, and then it drifted into many other things. But it was quite an experience, quite a moment. Jimi Hendrix. What was funny, as the tour continued on, I found myself being booked across the hall at the end of the hall. Every night, he would have a rather large console record player. It's before the days of, convenient portable record players. This was like more of a piece of furniture. But he was studying the first work by Jeff Beck's group called the Jeff Beck Group. And that record was Truth. And to hear Jimi Hendrix sitting cross-legged playing Jeff Beck licks blew my mind. And he would ask me, how do you think Jeff does this? And I said, let me tell you something. Jeff and I are both trying to figure out how you do it. So it was, great times.
You have worked with, aside from him, but you've worked with so many different people, from top to bottom, all different everybody's. Who stood out the most to you?
God, it's all been handpicked, and they're all favorites. From my buddy Josh Homme, Queens of the Stone Age, and Al Jorgensen, from Ministry to Revco. It's all been very different. And I think that that has served well as a stepping stone to get into what we're talking about, this new Perfecto Mundo, which is way different.
Yes, but it works.
Oh, yeah.
Well.
Digging on it.
What, I guess I could ask, what piece did you take from each one of these people? You've worked with everybody. We'll just say everybody. Okay, so we'll use Queens of the Stone Age, for example. What did you grab from that specific instance?
Well, that's funny. Those guys make a wide range of expressions come to life, seems like under one sun, one brightly glowing sun. And they make no mistake, they make a big deal about drawing from vintage gear. They've got, if it's old, they've got it. If it was made 100 years ago, they got it. But they all make it work. Coming full speed ahead, one of the most recent inspirations was in no small part from a guy that's now part of Billy Gibbons and the BFGs, and that's one of the two Hammond B3 players, Mr. Mike Flanagan from Austin, Texas. And right as this Cuban element was starting to play influences on recording, Flanagan said, "Hey, man, I'm wrapping up a solo project." I said, "Oh, great. He said, "I would like to know if you'd have an interest in singing one for me." And I said, "Fine, that's good." He came down to Houston, and he had a song by Gatemouth Brown called "The Drifter." It was a rare, kind of an oddball thing. He did a duet, Gatemouth Brown and Roy Clark, and one of the songs was called "The Drifter." And it's a haunting tale about a guy that rides a black stallion and blood red eyes, all of that good stuff. So we sang and played with Flanagan on this solo record called "The Drifter." And he said, "You know, when I came into the studio," he said, I heard something that sounded like it might have been from Cuba. What is that? I said, "Well, we're tiptoeing off in uncharted waters. It just happens to be 90 miles across the Strait of Florida. It is Cuban." He says, "Great." I said, "Well, the Hammond B3 is in the control room and ready to go." And that led us into a topic which is not often talked about, but certainly is worthy of calling attention to, the fact that Cuban music has had its influences in Western pop culture and certainly Western music going back as far as I can remember. And with our cornerstone being the attempt to interpret that great art form called the blues, the Slim Harpo song, "Got Love If You Want It," and that was Flanagan's throw-in. And I said, "Gee, that's a good place to start." And it just happens to be the lead track off of Perfecto Mundo, "Got Love If You Want It." But it's a cha-cha.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, when it is a blues number, and it was always played on blues radio back in the day. But it's a cha-cha. It's Cuban.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, you're totally right. That's amazing. I have a bit of a random question. What is the tie-in with WWE? You are all over the place with them, and you have been forever.
Yeah.
Why aren't you in the ring? Let's do it.
Another member of the growing cast of characters that we seem to keep developing, John Paul Shellnut. And believe you me, he is a nut. John, JP as we call him, he's been following wrestling seemingly forever. I think he told me when he was about 10 or 11, "When I was about 10, maybe 11, my mother gave me a camera." Said okay. And then he started following the wrestling circuit, big way down, JP down from South Georgia. And of course, wrestling's been popular in the South for all time.
Right.
But JP's still around, and he's so well. You cannot take JP into a room where everybody falls in love with this guy. And Billy Bob Thornton, as a matter of fact, called me aside. He said, "By the way," he said, "who is that guy that you're with? I need him. I need this guy." And I said, "Oh, you're going to put him in one of your pictures?" He goes, "Well, I'll get to that, but I just need this guy. He's a character. I need him in my life." So that's in a nutshell. And with all the wrestlers, same way. They need JP.
Yeah.
So we always hang out. They put JP in the front row, and we're always there.
Yeah.
We were there last Friday.
Yeah, we always see you, and it's like, wait, what's that? It was.
Yeah.
And it's been that way for years. I mean, you've been a part of the family, shall we say, sitting, hanging out, watching, backstage, whatever it is, for a while. And I don't know if a lot of people know that, but I just wanted to point that out. I think that's pretty great.
It's fun. You know what Vince McMahon has done with wrestling.
It's an empire.
But it is an empire.
It is.
Yeah. Let's go next time we have an opportunity.
That'd be great.
And we get to take the chair home. Don't forget.
You do?
You get to take the chair home. WWE officiated chair.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. All right. Look, I know you've had an amazing career and played guitar and you've been in all these amazing situations, but you were on the greatest television show of all time, King of the Hill. And I just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah.
I love that episode. It's one of my, I'd say top 5 episodes.
It was fun.
What is it like to be in that? I mean, and you've not only King of the Hill, you did The Simpsons too, right?
Yeah.
But let's get back to King of the Hill because it's the greatest show of all time. Tell me everything.
Well, the development of that program was, it's like so many things. Oh yeah.
Hello.
Well, it's King of the Hill
it's
calling.
My judge.
Yeah, King of the Hill. I was about to say, yes, King of the Hill. Okay, well, me and Jenn are into it. We'll call you right back. Yeah, thank you. So I'm sure they wouldn't mind me expounding on the surprise arrival of the success of that show. It was done on a desktop. Not a desktop computer, a desktop with a yellow pad. And this idea grew into what we've come to know and love as King of the Hill. I think one of the elements that makes it so enjoyable is it's real. There are people that we know that are
absolutely.
like that.
I'm from Oklahoma. You're from Texas.
Yeah.
And we know all of the people that stand in that back alley and drink the beers and do the thing. And you guys showed up as, what were you, brothers? Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God, it was beautiful. And it was a great, funny episode. You know? Was it a lot of fun to do that?
It really was, and still is. ZZ Top is just 3. Billy Gibbons and the BFGs is now 6.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of doubled down. But
that's a lot of sharing.
The Texas Trio, myself, Frank Beard, the man with no beard, our fearless drummer, but it was Dusty Hill, ZZ Top's fearless bass player, that he was called out, Cousin Hill.
Yes.
But Dusty, for that one moment, he became King of the Hill. He goes, "Yes, I'm here."
It was beautiful. It really was.
Yeah.
What are some new artists that you're into right now?
Well, the notion of ZZ Top being a trio brought in the popularity of the duo, such as the Black Keys, what Jack White did early on, still does on occasion. There's another act called Royal Blood. Everybody loves them. It's just fierce. I mean, fierce. In fact, the concept of the popularity of a band with 2, well, it's been around for a long time. Lightnin' Hopkins down in Houston, Texas, used to appear with just a drummer. Spider Kilpatrick was his sidekick. And Frank Beard and Dusty Hill actually served as Lightnin's backup band for a while. And then we went and saw Lightnin' perform with, just as a duo, Lightnin' Hopkins and Spider Kilpatrick. And it was enough to keep us going. I said, well, if they can do it with 2, we got 3.
Right.
Maybe we got a chance. Yeah.
Have you seen 21 Pilots before?
I've heard 21 Pilots. Do we have a decade to continue this discussion? We could, it seemingly...
Oh no, we can go wherever we want.
Yeah.
But I feel like they are kind of taking the cake for the two people right now. They've been everywhere, and then they send the drum set out into the crowd in the middle of their show. Have you ever seen them do that?
I heard it's like on a platform, and instead of crowd surfing, it's drum set surfing.
It's insane, but it's such a great idea, and I think it's a better, more intimate situation for a fan when there is 3 or 2.
Yeah.
I feel like you can get to know the people a little bit more. You feel the music in more kind of an intense way. 4's not bad, 5's not bad, 6 not bad, 7. But when it comes to those 3-piece and those 2-piece, I think it's interesting you pointed those out. And Royal Blood, if we ask anybody that question, I think every band or artist we've asked, they come up. I mean, they're unbelievable.
There's a guy here in Los Angeles that's actually launching a newfound way of doing business. In fact, it may turn into a small industry the way he has come forward. He's invented a replacement pickup that requires no drilling of holes. It's just simply take out what's there and put this thing in. What it does is it turns the 2 bottom strings of one's electric guitar into a bass, and it's revolutionary. It's called it's got the name, they calls it Little Thunder, and little it may be, but thunder it definitely is. And Andy Alt's Little Thunder from I think there's a couple of YouTube clips you can see the thing in action. Yeah. But he felt the same way. He said exactly what you did. This intimacy of a trio or a duo, it really it invites a focus that gets dissipated in 4 or 5. You have a hard time keeping track of it all.
Yeah. Wow. And Perfecto Mundo, you did it and you did it well. It's a great album. It's start to finish, enthusiastic, brilliant, beautiful, fun to listen to.
Keep it coming, Jenn.
You really did it. You knocked it out of the park, and it's so cool to listen to. I'm so excited for everybody to hear it.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming by. Billy Gibbons, it's been a pleasure.
Have mercy.